Splice versus LANDR. Which sample library is best for you and your needs as an independent music artist? That's what we're going to break down in this video by looking at all the different major categories and how they compare. And you've probably heard of Splice before. You probably know that they have tons and tons of samples. Maybe you're thinking of signing up, but what you might not have known is that LANDR also has tons and tons of amazing samples, and their library is growing all the time. And I just say that because I didn't know LANDR had samples until recently. All right, so let's look at and see how these two platforms compare. So number one, in terms of pricing, there's a couple different plans each of these have. So with LANDR, they really only have one price point, one package level for just the samples, and it is $7.99 a month. You can save a little if you pay for the year. And then they have like a studio plan that is $12.99 a month, and that includes samples and a whole bunch of other stuff that I'll cover in a second. And then with Splice, you're getting their lowest price point is $12.99 a month, and you get 100 samples. And as you increase your price points, you get more samples. So I thought one thing that was interesting here is that they have the exact same price, $12.99, as LANDR does for their studio package, where you get so many other bonuses. So these are kind of what I'm going to be comparing going forward, because they're the exact same price. So for the exact same price, what do you get, Splice versus LANDR, and which one is best for you? Because everyone's needs are different. For your needs, Splice might be better, or maybe LANDR. So what do you get then for these different pricing levels? So with LANDR, you get 100 samples a month. Again, with Splice, you get 100 samples a month. But with LANDR, you get a whole bunch more. You also get unlimited distribution. So LANDR is also a music distributor. So you could cancel your music distributor and just use LANDR. We also give you $1,000 worth of other tools and plugins, which I'll show you those in a second. So here's all the extras you get with LANDR, which is pretty crazy. So you get like Baby Audio Tape. That's a plugin I reviewed before on my channel. You get Ableton Live Lite, so you actually get a DAW, albeit a light version. Access to 10 plus additional curated music production tools, including must-have VSTs and effect plugins from partners like IK Multimedia, Arturia, and Spitfire Audio. Unlimited access to 200 plus in-depth interactive music creation, production, and promotion courses. Video collaboration sessions let you share HD audio from your DAW in real time, which is really cool. That's something I want to try out here in the future. And you also get a bunch of like LANDR specific plugins that they've made themselves, and I've broken down a few of those and reviewed a few of those on my channel. You're getting a whole lot more than just samples with LANDR. That may or may not be important to you. All right, so Splice does have courses and lessons as well, covering sound design, synthesis tools, music theory, and mixing. So this also covers a lot. LANDR is a little bit broader. It also like goes into like music marketing and things of that sort. But definitely you have, looks like, a lot of good lessons here as well. All right, here we are seeing the LANDR course library. And you can see all the different categories here by DAW, skill level, partners, music production, instruments and gear, music business, genres, music theory. Now, Splice does come with a few plugins as well. Looks like they got Beat Maker here, a drum sequencer that integrates seamlessly with Splice sounds. And we have this Astra synthesizer, and you can try out Serum 2. They do have some rent-to-own options here and plugins for sale. And then they also are just highlighting some free plugins, which you can get elsewhere. So not quite as robust as LANDR. Now, speaking of samples, I actually have a free sample pack that you can grab in the description below, or just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/starter pack. And this includes a bunch of awesome vintage drum machine samples. So if you like those kinds of sounds, then definitely grab my free pack. Now also have them again in the description below. So how do they look? I think they both look really great. Their interfaces are really easy to use, really easy to find samples. You can easily search and filter on what you want. So I would say they tie here in terms of just ease of use and customer experience. Quality of the samples, again, I think both platforms have really amazing samples, and they sound great, really high quality. So I don't really find that one versus the other is better in terms of quality. So here we can actually see the interface of the different platforms. First, we got LANDR here. So you can see this little panel here will change based on the new content you have in here, and we can listen to these. You and me falling through this moment. I don't know what to do. We can view the pack. You can see all the different samples here. Very nice. So if you go back, you can see all the new releases that are here, and you can sort by your genre or even sound effects, which is really nice. There's also labels that are producing sounds here, it looks like. We have top downloaded samples. So if you really want, you know, the sounds that sound the best, which if they're drums, they're fine. I don't know if I'd want to use the most popular for other sounds. So we can listen to like the top 50 kicks. You can just hover over this and we can see them here. Interesting. Now, I believe you also get this chromatic plugin when you get the LANDR samples, because that gives you the ability to experiment with loop-based playable instruments. Basically turns your samples into kind of like an instrument and gives you different triggers and effects and so on. So we can go search samples and we can type in something. So say we wanted something in like the synthwave genre, we can just do that. And we can look for samples, we can look for packs. If you want like a consistent group of samples, we can look for loops, or we can just look at one shots. Nice. Really good sounds. All right, if you like one of the packs, you can click on them and see everything under that pack. And we can get even more granular with this advanced filter. We can search by instrument, by BPM and key, all the different instruments here. Right there, your range, what key it's in. So it makes it really easy to find your samples, and they all sound really amazing. And I've been using this for months now, and I really love it. And you can see this is the sample credits I have up here, and each sample is 1 credit. All right, so here's LANDR Chromatic, and you can see, again, you got all the different like samples in here. So we can see we can select a set, granular, elevated riff. You can download more sets. If I did elevated riffs, so we got like guitar licks and effects in here. All right, so these are your licks. Then we can like filter these. It's pretty cool. We can lo-fi it. Reverb. Pretty cool. That's pretty. So you can do double or half speed. Looks like we can go up or down an octave. Down 2 octaves. Go in reverse, and I'm guessing this is a tape stop. So anyway, cool ways to use your riffs. So anyway, there's new sets being uploaded all the time, so that is really cool. Oh, and one last really cool thing is we can actually change the key as well. So right now we're in G. But what if we move to D flat? All right, now, so here is what the Splice interface looks like. So this is the home page here. You can see 100% royalty-free samples, yours forever, cancel anytime, and you can try it out. So we can start searching. You can see you can browse genres, you can browse instruments. So again, I make synthwave. So let me try synthwave. You can check out some of these. Very nice. They sound very good. Nice. I mean, Splice is definitely well known for a reason. It is a very great platform with a lot of amazing sounds. So let's have this create tab. This looks interesting. So you can get song ideas. So it's automatically layering loops for you. Now, how about number of samples? Now, I thought for sure Splice would have had more than LANDR, but with my preliminary research that I've done, the only number I could find for Splice was 2 million samples, but that was an old number. So probably still more than LANDR, but LANDR itself has over 3 million samples as well. So they're pretty comparable, but I'm guessing that Splice probably still does have slightly more samples. But when you're talking about millions, that's a huge selection. That's more than you could possibly need. So you're probably going to have everything you need, whether you get LANDR or Splice. The only difference here that's I think really cool that Splice has is they also have presets. So for like, and as far as I could see, it was mostly just like Serum presets. So if you have Serum and you want to get like sounds for Serum, Splice also has those. 32,000 results. That's cool. Last time I did this, it was 30,000 results. So it's nice to see that it's increasing. Now this has 75,000 results, whereas LANDR only have 32,000 results. So I think it's safe. I mean, this is just synthwave, but I think it's safe to say that Splice is definitely larger, a much larger database than LANDR. So looking at these different categories, then who is the ultimate winner? Well, kind of breaking them down again, summarizing these. Pricing wise, LANDR's the best because they have a cheaper plan than Splice, and if you do the upgrade with LANDR, it's the same price as Splice's cheapest plan, but you also get tons and tons of more add-ons with that. Number of monthly samples, they both tie. They both give you 100 samples a month at that lowest tier level. Distribution, LANDR wins because they have music distribution. Splice doesn't. LANDR also gives you plugins. LANDR also gives you courses and learning. User interface, they tie. Quality of samples, tie. Sample library size, pretty much tied, but Splice probably has a little bit more than LANDR. So with that, which one should you choose? Should you go with LANDR or Splice? Well, LANDR is best for you if 100 samples a month or 1,200 a year is enough for you. It's also great if you're on a tighter budget because it's a little bit more affordable. And it's also great if you want to get plugins, courses, and music distribution as well for that same low price. Now, Splice is going to be best for you if you need more than 100 samples a month or 1,200 samples in a year is not enough for you. So if you really need to be using lots of samples, tons of samples, thousands of samples, if you need thousands of samples, then Splice is going to be best for you. It's also great if you don't mind spending a little more and you aren't interested in all those extra plugins, courses, or music distribution, or happy with what you have. And it's also great if you have Serum and you're looking for more Serum presets as well as samples. Now, personally, I think the winner is LANDR. It is the platform that I use, and they're also the sponsors of this video, so I might be a little bit biased, but you can see, hopefully I made it clear that LANDR is best for some and Splice is best for others. So you can decide now which one you think is best for you, but I really like LANDR. I've been really enjoying using it, and I haven't had any trouble finding samples that I love and can use easily in my productions. And by the way, you can actually get 20% off your first year with LANDR when you use my link, which is orpheusaudioacademy.com/LANDR. Now, if you're curious about the distribution side of things, as I mentioned that LANDR also has music distribution, I have a video breaking down the top 8 music distributors and comparing them and determining which one is actually the #1 best music distributor on the market right now. So if you want to check out that video, just click the box on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there.